really wanted to make something that was unique to me and like different. And I think that I'm in a unique space in the game development field because of how young I am. And so I decided to romanticize like my middle school years. I came up with the interface, and then I knew that I needed to tell a story. And that's when I kind of came up with the college story. So I'm Kyle Seeley, and I made Emily is Away. So the story focuses on you as you go from senior year of high school to senior year of college and your relationship with your friend Emily. You guys go to different colleges, and so the game's all about the hardships of trying to maintain a friendship through that, the hardships of trying to be maybe more than friends through that period. And it's really about just growing up and growing apart from friends that you once held dear. So the game is based on my life. There's no one-to-one ratio between any person or events. The game definitely takes inspiration from a lot of people that I knew in high school and inspiration from events and stuff that happened to me through college. I tried to create a very relatable story, a very universal story. And I think that the story of growing up and growing away from someone is very relatable to a lot of people. For me, it was very nostalgic, and I hope that for people playing it, it's also very nostalgic because I want to get that nostalgia factor in order for people to kind of live in their own memories while they play the game. The whole interface and all the references are there to kind of transport the player back into their own memories of that time period so they can project onto the story more of their own memories, right? So they can relate better. All the music and the movies, they were all stuff that I was really into, and also people that I was interested in were really into. And I always try to keep Emily, the opposing character, kind of like one step ahead of the player in terms of her music references and all that kind of stuff. Like all of her albums and stuff aren't available to you to choose from, because I want to create that like dichotomy of like you are trying to kind of aspire to be her, trying to be with her. It's much easier for people to frame stuff in their minds through pop culture references rather than actual just like numbers, right? Like if I see the year 2002 to you, you might not know anything, but if I said, oh, that was the year that this album came out, then you can kind of frame that in your own memory. For the buddy profiles, it was really important to capture that kind of like what they used to look like in that time period. And so in order to do that, I looked at a bunch of old chat logs that I had. A lot of it was from memory as well, just like kind of remembering what quotes people would put in their buddy profile, how they were kind of geared. My one AOL Instant Messenger screen name was, it was because I was going through the form you fill out at the beginning. It's like asking for your email address, your name, all that kind of stuff. And so I thought it was being really clever, and I made my screen name So Many Questions because there's so many questions when you fill out that form. Of course, nobody got that reference at all, and so everybody's just like, why is your screen name that? It doesn't make any sense. But I kept that one, so I had that one through middle school and high school. The color scheme I used to use was black background with the lime green text, kind of like hacker typer, because I thought it was so cool. But yeah, it was really important for me to create moments where the player could relive that, but also like just kind of make fun of themselves, because all the colors that are available to be picked are like all terrible. Like they're just the worst color schemes. There's only bad endings to the game. The way you get there is dependent on your choices, and it can kind of branch off, and you can get to different endings, but they're all not, there's no ending where you end up with the girl, right? And that's because I really wanted to tailor this experience to be a specific narrative arc. And I wanted to make sure that all players experience the narrative arc that I wanted them to experience, but through their own choices. There's a bunch of choices in the game that create the dynamic content, that change reasons for things happening in the game or change why things happen. But in the end, it is a narrative arc, and your choices kind of just branch and then come back to that narrative. It was really like therapeutic almost, because a lot of us don't think of our past too often. And I think that it was really great to go back myself and think about my own past and the own decisions that I made in my past and kind of like critically think about those decisions. And that's what I'm kind of trying to convey with the game, right? Is you play the game, you kind of get the nostalgia factor, you think about your own past, and then the story of the game happens, right? And the hope is that you project that story back into your own memories and say, oh, I chose to do this in my real life, let me choose to do this something different in the game, or choose to do the real thing in the game. And that's where I think the game can be the most powerful. And so that's really what I'm really trying to promote, is reflection of your own past through this game, right?